How many, okay, first question is, which one of you two were held against your will in Mt Carmel?
I didn't even want to come out. What do you mean against your will?
Well, we're just going to start it off with
We held no prisoners or captives. We had 2 young men that came in from outside during the siege that snuck in there through the FBI cordon that they had around us, and both of them left before it was over.
But even before the siege, I mean, anyone could basically join. You just had to kind of have the beliefs. You could leave when you wanted to.
David had the open door principle.
And this was for years and years and years, way before.
When he opened the door and saw all these men coming out with guns, he had the door open. He wanted them to not fire, but come in. And all they was interested in was shooting. And they did. And we weren't shooting at them because we were into shooting people, not with guns.
The very fact that over the years people have come and gone and you know, not being held against their will or tortured or any of this kind of stuff belies some of the statements that have been put out by the media or by the government,
right.
Or by even former members.
And another thing too is I understand a lot of you all had jobs.
Right.
Oh yes.
I mean, the people, they were hard-working people that contributed their time to the church, because some of their resources to the church.
Well, before the very end, yes, that, you know, we had one girl who was a linguist. She worked in Canada, and she was actually an overseer of all the school system, to see that they what she set up was done in the school system, and she more or less controlled that. She also worked for the United Nations because she was very good in French and other languages. We had a lawyer in our midst. We had men who were very, like one young man, he was very good on computer. That's before computers became so popular. There were a lot of people came from England, and they were social workers.
Right.
They had excellent. Most of our people were very well educated, and you know, in order to teach somebody something, you have to have people who are willing to be taught and have learned how to study, have learned to listen and evaluate. And we had people like that with us. And so all this about us being so, they never did say illiterate, but they called us many other things.
Yeah.
Were untrue.
Well, do you have any? Now, what was that? Was that Paul Jones, or there was a Jones? One fellow in there worked for the post office.
David Jones.
David Jones,
Mm-hmm.
and I mean, but I know that you all had various. Was it Mike Schroder, the one that got shot in the back, or when he was trying to run on the Mount Carmel?
We had school teachers, and
These people all had good jobs.
Oh, they all had excellent jobs.
Wayne Martin was very well educated.
Wayne Martin was one of the most brilliant men I've ever talked with. He could talk on any subject. He was a professor. He also was a lawyer. I did a lot of research with him. He was ultra polite. You know, I have worked for many men over the years in different positions and offices and different places. I never worked for a man when you would suggest an idea who would not take it and run with it and go to the boss and make him think he had thought of it. He wasn't like that. He was really an exceptional person. But the others were too, in their own way. Every one of them had abilities.
And another thing too, there was, you know, there were initially the media tried to make it look like that this was a white separatist group. This was
a third.
This was a group of all different races, cultures,
nationalities. Black.
Right.
Right.
So that had to be dismissed.
We had Chinese, Japanese. We had people from
Philippines,
Australia. We had people from England. We had people from the what's the one near Australia?
New Zealand.
New Zealand. All over the country. I mean, Canada. We had them from everywhere. And like I say, there was Japanese, Chinese, and all different races. There was Indian as well as blacks, and just
And-
about Mexicans.
They were not just members, but we lived together.
No,
You know, we got along. That to me,
I'm sure you had a little bit of infighting among. I mean,
No.
there was some disagreement,
There was
but
just-
That's just
I've
human
never
beings.
seen so many different kinds of people get along so well, which to me
amazing.
indicates the Spirit of God working.
That's right.
We had something, they came to learn something, and what they came to learn and to find out was more important than all the quibbling and the squabbles and the daily little frustrations that might arise because of the situations that we lived in. They were all solved very readily and without any fistfights or anything like that. Most of the time we got along great.
You never saw the men.
How many-
You know, you'd expect the men to get, you know, when they would really get upset to start wanting to fight. There was none of that. The women, women, it's very hard for women to live together.
Yeah, and you all did. How
And
many
yet
people were
we
totally
all lived together. I think the highest count was 150.
That was during '92.
Yeah.
By the time that the ATF raided the place, I think there was something like about 130.
How many square feet was that? Do you know? Do you have? How many acres? There were several hundred acres.
Well, we have 77 acres out there, but the
78.
building wasn't.
Yeah.
It was a big building.
And it was virtually
I
paid. It was
counted.
going to be paid for completely, right?
I counted
Right.
44. I sat down and counted 44 rooms that people used. But
those
a
of
lot
us-
of those rooms had 2 and 3 and 4 people in,
Now, this
depending.
was built from church donations, right? People that
Right.
worked outside.
First, we used
donating to the
the
church.
wood from the houses that were originally there. Then we bought lumber that we had to.
Does that look
Well, let's go right into then. I want each of you to comment on this.